Hello, today we're going to be looking at how to install and run the Peak Database Manager. After downloading the zip file from CodeCanyon, you want to go ahead and open it up, and you'll be presented with three folders. The Files folder contains all our code. The Help folder contains the documentation, and the Tools folder contains tools that some users may find useful, but are not required to install or run Peak. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the Files folder. And I'm also going to log into my server. So the first step is to upload all the files onto your server. You can check if your files are uploaded correctly by navigating to your website. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a web browser. And navigate to my website. As you can see, we're presented with the Peak login screen, which means our files were uploaded correctly. Now I'm going to be working with an SQLite database, so I'm going to also upload my database file into the protected folder. My database file, seen here, sample.db. Now that all my files are uploaded, I can go back to the main root and do the second step, which is to fix the configuration file. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be working with SQLite database. If you're working with a MySQL server, you're going to want to change the database type from SQLite to MySQL. You're also going to want to add your MySQL credentials below. For example, if the MySQL username was codeeverywhere12, I would change it from false to codeeverywhere12. It's important to remember the quotes. But today, we're working with SQLite database. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the bottom, and I'm going to change the SQLite path from temp.sqlite to sample.db, which is the name of my file that I just uploaded. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now that my files have been uploaded and edited, I can go ahead and start creating users. This is done by logging in with a default user account, default_user, and default password, which is password 1. So once logged in, I'm going to want to move to the User Management tab and create a new administrator account. Now you can also create any secondary accounts you might need at this point. Once my new administrator account is created, I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log back in with the new account I just created. I'm going to go back to the User Management tab, and I'm going to want to delete the default user account. And that's all that's needed to install Peak. I'm now ready to use it. So to use Peak, you can go into the View Tables, SQL tab, which allows you to run raw SQL queries, the Help section, or as you've already seen, User Management. So I'm going to go to the View Tables. Here you're presented with the name of your tables, the number of records, and some options. With Peak, you're able to delete a table, view a table structure, export a table as either a CSV or XML formatted file, and of course open a table for either viewing or editing. So I'm going to go ahead and open the customer table. Once inside a table, you're able to filter results. You're also able to sort results alphabetically. To edit a field, you can just click on a name that you'd like to edit, make your changes, and either hit enter or select another field. Your changes are done automatically. To delete a field, you can use a small X located on the right side. If you would like to add a field, you can click Add a Row on the top right. The first column is the name of the field. The middle column is what you're entering, and the last column is the data type. And that's all that's needed to add a new row. Going back to the main screen, the SQL tab allows you to run raw queries in the browser. For example, if I wanted to select all the data in the table, I can use the select command. You're also able to use the table cloud to view all the tables currently in your database. For example, if I wanted to select all the items, all the data from the items table, I'll use the query select star from items. If I only wanted items that were with a price higher than $20, I can modify my query. Now at any point, you can open up the table cloud to get an overview of all the tables in your database. The help section just gives new users a quick look on how to use Peak. Now, some users may not already have a database to use. Those users are able to take advantage of some of the tools included in Peak. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete the database that I uploaded. So now Peak has no pre-existing data. And I'm going to go back into the Tools folder, and I'm going to use something called the Table Builder. This table builder will help me in creating new tables that I can paste into the query in Peak. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new table. And I'm going to start by adding some columns. And once I'm done adding columns, I'll see at the bottom that the table builder has given me the correct query to create my table. So I'm going to copy this query. I'm going to log back into Peak. I'm going to go to the SQL tab. And I'm going to enter the query. And as you see here, affected row 0 means it's created my new table. Going back into the View tab, you'll see my new table was created. The SQLite sequence is just a default table that keeps track of my auto increment field. Which, as you can see, the ID field will auto increment by 1. This table can be ignored. And that's it. That was a quick install tutorial and how to navigate Peek. If you have any questions, feel free to leave us a comment or contact us directly through CodeCanyon. Thank you, and enjoy using Peek.